everyone, welcome back to Yu-Gi-Oh! 2 Monsters Reviews! We're doing the Yu-Gi-Oh! Season 1 film. Has 9 episodes. It's according to the Yu-Gi-Oh! Wiki, it's officially called Domino City Duels. But everyone knows that's Season 1 film, so it's Season 1 film. This, film has 3 arcs or 3 stories. The Girl from America, Do Monster Quest, and the sub, or Legendary Heroes and the dub, and Dungeon Dice Monsters. For this review, for the voice actors, a lot of them, the Big Five has multiple voice actors. So it's not too bad, even though I'm going over 8 people. A lot of voice actors, I couldn't find any information off. I couldn't even find a picture. So it's kind of like speed round a bit. Of course, as we go on, we won't have to do this so much, and do monsters, but it's just, for now, it's a bit. So, let's start off with Rebecca, who's played by Koi Tamine in Japanese, and played by Callie Williams in the dub, who plays Domino, Jirachi, and Casey from Pokemon. All of us play by Sino Woolley Okadai in Japanese, and played by Mike Pollock in the dub, who also plays Bonaparte in GX, and is the current voice actor of Dr. Eggman. Probably surviving 4Kids era Sonic voice actor, which is pretty damn cool. Just saying, but he's able to still voice that character. Gainsley is played by Nobuyuki Sayo and Do Monsters Quest Arc for the Japanese version. And Shinto Sukuro in the Virtual World Arc. And then by dub, it's played by Eric Stewart in Season 1. And there's as well a new rule for these voice actors coming. So, I've decided, for the sake of not repeating myself too much in these reviews, if a voice actor I've already gone into details show up again, like Eric Stewart, perfect example. I will not go into details again because that would be repetitive and stuff. I'll just mention the name and move on. Say if Eric Stewart comes up in Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, which he does, that's where I would go over his information again. Or if I review something else, like Pokemon, where he shows up in. It's just, if it's under the Doom Monsters umbrella, I'm not gonna go over the details of Eric Stewart again. I hope that makes sense. And let's continue. And by Mark Thompson, who plays Astro and Zexum, Woman 5Ds, Shafts and GX, and Duke and Doom Monsters. So much more Yu-Gi-Oh! Words. But I just kind of named the 4 most important ones. From each series that he plays. I know Duke shows up later, a bit down in this list, but it's like Duke was the most important one, so I just mentioned it here. In the Virtual World arc. Crump is played in Japanese by Satoshi Toroki, who also plays Jinso GX. Euphos Jumon and Harubi from Digimon Saviors in the Do Monsters Quest arc, and Ryosuke Ultra in the Virtual World arc. The dub is played by Robert O'Gorman. Johnson is played by Shishin Yachuru in Japanese. The English dub is played by Will Grayson for the Duel Monsters Quest arc, and Andrew Paul Virtual World arc. Deathbed is played by Hirume Shinigami, who also plays Bakuman and Digimon Adventures 02 and Tamers for the Japanese version. And the dub is played by David Wills, who also played Seiko and Duel Monsters, Hasbane, Shepard and GX, and Tank and 5Ds. Ledshow is played by Ii Takamo, who plays Pella and GX, Queen in Dragon Ball Z Kai, and Nick and Bagamo and DBS for Duel Monsters Quest arc in Japanese, and by Hatsuri Izuma in the Virtual World arc. And the dub is played by Tom Surratt. And lastly, Duke Devlin is played by Noah Naruto, who plays Gene in 5Ds, and Kosu Osaki Yuromo in Japanese. That character is from Kill la Kill. Very minor character. He's the plant dude from Gone Club, if you remember. I don't think he had much screen time, but that's not the problem. And then the W is played by Mark Thompson. So, I'm gonna go over the episodes of each, story arc and then give my thought, because that's easier instead of giving my thought at the end of each episode. So let's begin with episode 41. It's kind of wipes off Dude's Kingdom. We see everyone waking up from getting the souls back. Mokuba, Sakaba, and Green Palm. Yugi suspects Yami Biko was the one behind Pegasus' attack. But we threw the wing away. It's not Yami Biko. That's ridiculous. But he wants whatever money then. Yugi gets the Ties of Friendship card from Pegasus, and Joey gets the prize money. Mokuba finally reunites with Kaiba. Kaiba's actually smiling, and we learn that the key to the permanent documents is the little locklet each have of each of them, pictures inside. So yeah, and then we get some Yami Bako licking the lamb eye. That's very unsanitary. I highly doubt you wash the eye before you licked it. You're like, that's some good Pegasus eye socket juice. Num 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 num. But Yugi and the gang get wide from Kaiba's get inside his helicopter, because apparently no one thought to provide transportation for the winner of this tournament. I'm just saying. So we gotta talk about the greatest injustice in all fucking Yu-Gi-Oh! No one's talking about it, which is a real shame, because everyone has this soapbox that they like to step on, but no one's talking about the real injustice. Yuki's mom shows up for 3 frames here. No one speaks to her. She doesn't speak. No one acknowledges her. And the next, after Grandpa is picked up from the hospital, she disappears. I honestly thought she was a nose as a kid, because she's just there. She's just there. And this is a great injustice. We need to stand up for the MILFs so they get the proper respect. And, I'm just saying we need to fight for injustice in our Yu-Gi-Ohs. Moving on, Grandpa unites with Yugi, and they go to the card shop. Screw your mother, Yugi, says Grandpa. Not really, but that's what I feel it's like. And then we see Rebecca is waiting for them. Rebecca explains she's from America. Fuck yeah. And that's why she wants blue eyes, because it came from America. And she's an American champ. Um, and she goes like, Bandit Keith told me you stole the card. And it's just like, oh, Bandit Keith, you lost your title to a 12-year-old girl and you tell her lies. You're a role model to us all. But Rebecca challenges Grandpa to a duel over the Blue Eyes to see, who gets it. But Yugi's like, Grandpa, you just got back from the hospital. You can't pick up 5 cards and draw every turn. I can. I take your place. I've sacrificed myself as tribute, Grandpa. So Yugi versus Rebecca starts. Rebecca has a very solid opening turn by summoning Witch of the Black Forest. Yugi summons Captain Guardian to destroy Witch of the Black Forest. But which has an effect, which lets Rebecca search one monster with 1500 defense or less from her deck and add it to her hand. And then she summons Sengan, which Captain Guardian destroys. Sengan has basically the same effect as Witch of the Black Forest, except for instead of defense, attack. So Rebecca gets another search. Rebecca uses Tribute of the Doom on Captain Guardian and sets a card, which, if you ask me, you're kind of wasting Tribute of the Doom. But hey, you gotta get rid of Captain Guardian somehow, I guess. Yugi summons Skulls and attack the set card, which is Millennium Shield, which has a big butt that Yugi cannot penetrate. So Yugi takes a bit of damage. And then Rebecca equips the Wing of Magnetism to Millennium Shield, which lowers his defense by 500, but you can only attack Millennium Shield. And then summons Cannon Surgeon, and then summons Witch of the Black Forest, another one. Cannon Surgeon activates his effect by tributing Witch. Yugi loses 400 life points, but that causes Witch's effect to activate, so Rebecca gets another search. Yugi plays Cowput Toto. In the next episode, I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm only like the first move of the next episode, basically. Which is my bad. I'm so excited to talk about this arc. Not really. We find out at the end of episode 41 that Rebecca is the granddaughter from Awful. I want to put a close one Awful. His name is Awful. I'm jumping the gun all over the place. I'm keeping this in because bloopers in real time, I guess. Because she's the granddaughter of Awful, the person that Grandpa stole the car from the Blue Eyes White Dragon car. Dub changes. Joey punishingly blames Pegasus for not keeping his promise, even though you already acknowledged Mokuba is awake. You just blame him for no good reason. No mention of Ben Keith, and they changed Rebecca's age from 12 to 8. Why? I do not know. And the Millennium Shield is a wind effect monster for whatever reason. So episode 32. Grandpa tells the story of how he met Awful in ancient Egypt. Not ancient Egypt, but like Egypt at like a tomb site. There we go. That's how you phrase it down. Grandpa's like, it's there for the rare cards, but Awful was actually there to, look at the sites. Awful found out that if he played Doom monsters in ancient Egypt, of course, his colleagues laugh at him, be like, Doom monsters in my ancient Egypt? Please! But Awful has proof, man. This is the first time we hear the term God cards. Hey! Gotta build that battlefield. Hype! And then, the ruinous crafts around Awful and Grandpa So Grandpa puts up the idea we should play a game of Doom Monsters. Whoever wins, give the last bit of wall. Whoever loses, dies. And Alpha agrees. And then we go back to the present because Rebecca's like, I'm sick of your lies, old man! Sick of them! And then, Joey has a shin. Because, we gotta show off that shin. But we get back to the dueling action. Like I mentioned, first move of the duel of this episode is Yugi summons Caputo, then uses brain control on the lame shield. Caputo looks more like his TCG counterpart, and this duel when you contribute a monster to deal half their attack to your opponent. So Yugi just does that, uses Lame Shield. The Lame Shield has 0 attack, so Rebecca takes the big old fat goose egg as damage. And then summons Scar destroys the cannon soldier. Rebecca uses a Judgment Blaster. By discarding 5 cards, you destroy all monsters on the field. Then she summons Shadow and gets 100 attack points for each monster in your graveyard. So there's 11 monsters, 1100 attack. Add to Shadow. Yugi sets the card, but Rebecca's like, ha ha ha, not my house, stop the fence! And we see Dark Magician. Bye bye, Dark Magician. Yugi uses Soul Civilian Light, use Monster Reborn to bring back the Dark Magician. Rebecca summons a 9 cannon soldier. And this is where, Yugi, kind of gives, Rebecca, the card speech. Because, you should just be sacrificing your monsters to, boost out Shagu's attack, yet be thankful for the sacrifice. Type stuff. Yugi uses Dark Magician to destroy Cannon Soldier. And then, Swords ends, Yugi draws, and then he surrenders. To, replicate, how Grandpa versus Alpha ended. Because I ended with Grandpa surrendering so Alpha could live. And then Grandpa chose Rebecca for Blue Eyes White Dragon tone up, and Rebecca's like, mad, of course she is, because the cause she was fighting for its whip. And then Alpha shows up and explains Yugi won. If he didn't, Wolf won if he didn't surrender, because he drew Soul Release, which banishes 5 cards from your player's graveyard, which will decrease Chagu's attack by 500. And Yugi and Rebecca becomes friends. Yugi gives Rebecca the Ties of Friendship card. Dub changes. So there's no mention of God cards in the dub, just more lame. I'm the Shadow Realm, baby. And then when Judgment Blaster is used, Rebecca didn't have 5 monsters in her hand, so with the continuity error, because Chagu should have 200 less attack points than it does in the dub. Anyways, so I hate this 2-part, the Go From America arc. 1, Yugi's mom got treated so poorly. Hashtag justice for Yugi's mom better be training, the next morning after I post this video on the YouTubes. We gotta start a movement. We need justice. Next, I hate the payload I tried to do. It takes away from the Doom, because you bend over backwards and be like, whoa, Yugi's just like his grandpa, man. But it's like, we already know Yugi's kind. And you comparing a life or death situation to teaching someone the heart of the cards. Granted, and it also doesn't help that Yugi beats people and go, learn the heart of the card. They're like, oh, I've seen the heart of the cards. And it's like, you don't need to win. It's stupid. You try to make this connection that doesn't need to be made, and you sacrifice the duel for this and how the story is told. A good parallel It's Jack versus Dragon Duel in 5Ds, where when Jack and Dragon duel the opening hand is the same that they had in a flashback duel. Where Dragon was told to basically throw the game, so Jack can keep his image of being the king by Gauntlet. So like when they have the same opening hand, it's like, hey, nice way to build tension and a fun angle to be like, okay, this is what would have happened if Dragon didn't throw that duel and who would have truly won. So like it didn't, like, you know, you gotta do a parallel like that in a way that doesn't take away stuff, which again this doesn't do. It just doesn't. So it's just kind of like one positive though. It's like I do like the fact that they build off of like one line. Like my friend gave me this Blue Eyes White Dragon card from episode 1. That's nice. It makes the world feel full. If it was an attempt, they failed at it. So moving on to the next batch of episodes. Episode 33 starts off with Sad Copper fighting for Big 5 for teaming up with Pegasus and Bruce Kingdom Arc. And they're like, well, Kaiba, we get it. We did do everything you accused us of. But we have a new video game we made that involves around Doom monsters. You know, if you beat it, you know, you can fire us. And Kaiba was like, I could just fire you, but I accept your challenge because I want to destroy you motherfuckers completely. So like, Kaiba, you know, goes into the game world like via a pod helmet and like puts deck in, and it goes horribly wrong. Blue Eyes White Dragon gets captured, jawed, and Kaiba gets kidnapped. And if you can't beat the game, you can't fucking leave. So, you know, Mokuba goes to Yugi and game for help. Explains like, hey, Kaiba wants to build Kaibaland to make the children happy, a theme park to make all the kids have happiness in their lives. And of course, you know, Yugi and the gang agreed to help. And this parts at Kaibaland, but connect to the same game that Kaiba's in, and like the Big 5 didn't think it would be a good idea to put God to. But they monitored to see, oh, Yugi, Joey and Mokuba went to the game world. Let's send bugs there for Tristan and Taylor to defend against. Not so smart, for Big 5. Joey, Yugi, and Mokuba spawn into a graveyard, and we get a Bones reference about how to defeat zombie monsters. And the fairy shows the game to a town, and we learn that Kaiba was taken across the desert, and to get across the desert, we need Notori to do so. And Notori, to get that card, you had to be the champion in a game of Doom Monsters. Dub changes! Kaiba made the game instead of the Big 5. Mokuba chose the game to Kaiba's Secret Lab instead of Kaiba Land. Why the change? I don't know. It just seems funny that Kaiba's Secret Lab is a theme park. And Tristan wants Taylor to feel his facial hair that's coming in. You know, when you hit that certain age, you get excited when hair is growing on your face and you want people to feel it. It happens, I guess. Have you ever, or when anyone saying, feel my facial hair? No, you don't. It's not normal, kids. Don't go up to strangers, be like, feel my facial hair. Or friends. Or anyone. Just don't do it. So episode 44 starts off with us learning that the champion is Mai, who is a playtester that can't leave. She steals the Notori card, so like her and Joey don't have to duel, and one of them had to lose all their life points. And they were able to get across the desert The gang's down a labyrinth, and Yugi concludes that this world is Dewey's Kingdom Light, which is, we get the greatest hits, playback. Yay. So that means the gay Guardian shows up, and it's destroyed by a Black Skull Dragon. And then we come across a character named Ian. I know I'm butchered that, but I apologize. Well, she is a female Mokuba who's also a princess. So, have a comment section below. Which is creepier? The fact that the Big Five made this game and decided it's a good idea to make a female Mokuba as a princess? Oh, that Kaiba did. A bunch of old businessmen or his brother. You decide. It's both really weird to me. But it's like, it'd be different if you'd be like, okay, like, here's Mokuba. Here's Mokuba as a model. It'd be a bit weird for the Big Five to make that decision, but it would make sense to Kaiba. But, like, a female version is just like, why? Like, I have several questions. I want to be in the bone meaning of the Big Five when we decide that one. I'm just saying. We learned that Kaiba was kidnapped by the witty Phantom, who plans to sacrifice Kaiba to summon the five-headed dragon. And we learned that each kingdom needs a sacrifice. Gives a sacrifice to summon the five-headed dragon. Kaiba is one of the sacrifices, and the princess is going to be one of the sacrifices. The gang needs to find the flying ship to get to the Dark Castle in the sky, who's the Dark Castle of Illusions. The gang changes outfits to look like warriors. Mokuba gets kidnapped because him and the princess swap outfits, so the girl switcheroo. So that happens. And the first time that Yugioh mentions the Nazca lines, ooh, we really probably get the 5D references today. We just need to shoot her Aki somehow. We'll find a way. Let's see. Aki has an AI in her name. Mine has an AI in her name. There we go. Joey uses the Time Wizard to bring back the old ship that was, used 1,000 years ago. Dub changes. Joey named his Notari drumsticks, and mine makes no mention of being trapped in the game world forever. Episode 45 starts off with the gang overflying airship fighting an army of monsters. Yugi shows up for the first time in 3 episodes. Kaiba and Mokuba unite and free the Blue Eyes White Dragon that was trapped in the dragon capture zone. And Yugi, Mai, and Joey are on the forest on top of a dark castle. That's a reference to Yugi's duel against Weevil. And everyone meets up: Kaiba, Mokuba, Yugi, Joey, and Mai. And then the Big Five was like, fuck it, you guys technically won, but we're just gonna summon the five-headed dragon anyways. And they have this rule, it's dragons only, so everyone summons the dragon. But Joey, Mai, and Mokuba die. They just life points to 0. So Yugi summons Black Luster Soldier, and then Kaiba fuses Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon, Black Luster Soldier together. Kaiba and Yugi do, to summon Dragon Master Knight. and who destroys 5-headed dragon. And then Yugi and Kaiba are sad because people they know died, but the princess is really the mystic elf who has the power to bring back the Mokuba, Joey, and Mai, so everyone lives that you care about. I mean, the fairy died at one point, but who cares about the fairy? It's very character. So, you know. That's kind of it. Dub changes. I love Captain Joey telling me about the freaking looking castle, some clouds, and the swarm of ferocious winged monsters that are waiting to devour us. Joey gets called a monkey by Kaiba. Should we keep track of how much times Joey gets called a monkey or a dog and Duel Monsters, because it is a lot. And now the job can talk about the job. I mean, in a way, the dub is a job for someone. But the dub finally is able to talk about people relieving themselves, peeing. Because instead of going to get ramen, they make a joke about Joey have to pee. Whatever. So the Duel Monsters quest arc is better than Rebecca, because Rebecca's arc is bad, but this is forgettable. They focus too much about, like, remember Duel's Kingdom, the arc you just watched? Let's do it again! And focus too much on that. And because of that, they don't take advantage of the fact that this is a video game world. Like, at all. Like, it doesn't feel like it. Like, you get, oh, cool, we got 5 gold for defeating the zombies. But, like, that's kind of it. Like, they don't take advantage of it. Like, there's an NPC but repeats himself, show, ha 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 ha, funny. But, like, you don't do enough with the saying. And the idea that you present, but it feels empty and just disappointing and forgettable. So, it's just, so the last 4 episodes, here we go. Episode 46 starts off with Grandpa being upset that a new game shop has opened. Duke sees Yuki checking out the new card shop, which Duke owns. He wants to challenge Yuki to Dungeon Dice Monsters. And to, you know, promote the game and to avenge someone. Joey delivers newspaper, which Taya, the hypocrite, points out is against screw rules. Which I like for bringing that back, but like, Joey has an exception. My own damn business, Taya. You've gotten several jobs in Season 0 and 1 job in Duel Monsters. Because again, screw policy, I don't want to hear it, okay? Okay, thank you. And you did get permission for those. So Joey sees Duke being surrounded by the ladies and automatically gets jealous. He goes like, Duke, I'd be banning Keith, man, in a card game. So Duke is like, okay. Let me make a fool of you. So like Duke says like, okay, I can remove this dice without, or like puts a dice under a cup, because like I can move this dice without touching the cup. He goes like, Joey, I already did it. Joey's like, I don't believe you. So Joey removes the cup, and Duke is like, yeah, I did without. Picks up the dice, like, hey, guess what? I did without moving the cup. So Joey's like, I'm not challenging to do monsters, a real man's game. Duke was like, okay, let's do draft. Which, for those who don't know, draft format is when you open a bunch of packs and use what you get from the packs to build a deck. And Yuki's like, this is unfair. And it's like, no, Yuki, it's format. It's a format. But Yugioh really doesn't support, but should do more products. But actually draft format and have the speedo stuff, and it's like predetermined cards. Anyways, so like, it's just like, Like if Joey wins, Joey gets all the ladies. Yes, that's actually what he wants. And if Duke wins, Joey has to do whatever he has to, whatever Duke says for a week. I like that you can, when the game goes to the Duke's card shop, you can see Yugi and Joey versus the Paradox Boys at the background of the TV screen. I think that's a nice detail. So Duke has a bit of cheerleading squad and cheerleading outfits going, Duke, Duke! And it's being broadcast this duel around the world. Joey, during this duel, does not use a single spell or trap card. So he's just summoning monsters and destroying stuff. And you see Duke, like, sometimes you just don't draw spells and traps, and sometimes you gotta roll with it. Draft format, you get cards, and stuff, and you build your deck. Like, it happens, it happens. But I just think it's like, I actually really like the draft format because you see cards that you probably would never have seen at all. Like, Joey uses, like, Soul Hunter, which I don't think you will ever see that monster anywhere else. So it's cool to see, like, that anime, see it's like effect, where when it destroys a monster, it could set monsters against 200 attack. It's neat to see that. Like, stuff like, Gray is in, getting the limiter removal, and, like, Fairy Meteor Clutch, which for those who don't know, limited removal doubles the attack points of all machine monsters on your side of the field. And Fairy Meteor Clutch is an equipped spell that lets you do piercing damage, which piercing damage means if your attack points is higher than a monster's defense points, you still do damage. So do kind of destroy Joey. And Duke must be in that furry wordplay because Duke is like, here's a dog suit and you cannot talk, I bark! Because it makes me feel good. And then Yamayuki is like, okay, this is enough. I challenge you, Duke Devlin, to a game. And Duke Devlin's like, okay, we do Dungeon Dice Monsters. My game. That he hasn't revealed that he invented yet, but he will. If Yugi wins, Joey will be free, but if he loses, he had to give his title of King of Games to Duke and never play Doom Monsters again. Dub changes. If Joey wins his Doom Monsters duel with Duke, Duke would have to close his card shop. If you try to play that off, it's like, oh, Joey's hard of the right place. Joey didn't know, like, if Grandpa's upset about that or not. Like, they didn't talk about it. It's just Joey being egotistical and jealous. And that's how to play off of a sub, but the dubs try to make him like a hero because you can't make your heroes unlikable. But episode 42 starts off with a dueling, transforming into a Dungeon Dice Monster Wing. A player has 15 dice. Each player has 3 life points. Each player rolls 3 dice at a time for the turn. There are 6 quests on each side of the dice: summon, movement, magic, attack, defense, and trap. If you don't use a quest besides the summon quest, I get stocked up. And to summon a monster, you need 2 summon quests of the same level. And when you summon a monster, it makes like a path. So you keep summoning to make a path to get to your opponent's life points. Duke was able to summon 5 monsters before Yamayuki was able to summon 1 monster. Due to Yamayuki picking a bunch of high-level monsters and didn't realize, oh no, this is hard to summon. And finally we get a monster fight between like Mighty Mage and 14th grade, and like we get more action towards the second half with like Duke's blast lizard destroying the wing dragon of the Guardian of the Fortress #1, which was played by Yugioh. Duke finally made sure he's the creator of Dungeon Dice Monsters. I mean, like, dude, can you really be the champion of a game you made? Like, that's a bit silly. Duke was to make a deal with Pegasus, but of course, since he's unconscious now, due to Yami Bako, he hasn't heard anything, so he goes like, Yugioh, you must have cheated against Pegasus. So he has a bit of a grudge. And Duke was able to damage Yami Yugioh's life points with Blast Lizard. Dub changes. Joey says woof with opening chill is like very great. I love that because it's just like, Duke, you're the best. And then Joey's like woof. Anyways, Yami and Duke pointlessly debate on Pegasus' character. Because Yami is like, oh, he's not a great man. And Duke is like, he's the greatest man that ever lived. Just pointless. Children arguing type stuff. Episode 48. Yami is using his help computer to actually help him learn the game. Joey's living the dream right now, being stepped on, becoming a loser dog above Cheerios. But how of a loser dog made me laugh. Yami thinks learning Dungeon Dice Monsters will help Duke understand that he didn't cheat against Pegasus. Due to having a lot of magic quests stack up, Yami uses Thunderball's effect twice to destroy Blast Lizard and Gale Dragon, which you can use effects multiple times because they take up, resources that you stock up, but you can only attack once. Grandpa shows up outside of a car shop. He likes the Cheerios. Like, he's in love. He's, going back and forth with hearts in his eyes. But, man, he's feeling for something for the first time in, 50 episodes. Just any emotion. He's been unconscious for a very long time. But it's upset that, Yugioh is basically promoting the new card shop that he's used as a rival. Each monster has, a hit point, and if, the hit points go to 0, the monster is destroyed. We, see Yami getting good, but able to using monsters to defend, and using the quests that he gather up to, attack. Duke boxes Yami for making a path to Duke's life points. So Yami would have to guard Duke's territory to get to Duke's life points. Duke summons a whirlpool and Yami does the same thing and they're connected. So Yami sends Strike Ninja, who can move free spaces with one movement quest, to Duke's side of the field using the whirlpool, and was able to do 2 damage to Duke's life points before Strike Ninja is destroyed by Olgoth the Relentless, who can waste his attack points by 100 with 1 magic quest. Dub changes. Grandpa was really in love with that TV. It's the TV. I swear that was on the TV. Episode 49 has a new opening and ending. They could wait 1 more episode until Biosity officially begins. They have to do it now. The opening is Shuffle. The ending is The Afternoon of That Day. Both sung by Masumi Oku. I think both are better than the last two, the last opening and ending. And since Shuffle plays in this episode 39 marks the first appearance of a Dark Magician Go. Yay! So this episode's one of history books, my dear friends. Um, so Olgoth uses the whirlpool to get to Yamayuki's side and was able to just keep gaining attack points and destroying all of Yuki's monsters. It was able to do 1 damage to Yuki's life, so each Duke and Yuki have 1 life point left. And this whole episode up to this point, everyone's like, oh my god, Yuki can't summon anything, he doesn't have enough space! And then Yugioh was like, Duke, you know that you can make the dice in any shape you want. He goes like, I know, but I made the game. And Yugi summons, and Duke is like, I didn't expect that shape! I don't know what, he has this, he is the Shock Pikachu. It is the monster Yugi summons the Dog Magician, which just wrecks shit. Dog Magician has an answer to fucking everything. Just wins Yugi the doom. And then Adesho Illusion sends an email to Duke. I wanted to make an official contract to make Dungeon Dice Monsters global. And Duke and Yugi become friends. This is the best filler arc by far. Dungeon Dice Monsters is fun to watch play. I want to play it, but it's very hard to do so nowadays. But oh man, it seems so fun. Duke as the character is okay. It's not the worst, not the best. Joey was hilarious in the dog suit. 100%. And just way better. Duke is a way better character to introduce than Rebecca was. So this is by far the most entertaining out of a bunch. This filler wasn't good overall. The Rebecca stuff was bad. Again, a shitty parallel to try to make, and it's very hard to swallow. With the duo is exactly the same when both Arthur and Rebecca had to shuffle the deck 3 times, and the results of them drawing the same cards are the same, but it's very hard to make the viewer to believe. The Duel Monsters Quest is just forgettable, and the Dungeon Dice Monsters, I think people will remember this, and it's good, but it's a fun, it's cool to see, your heroes play a different game for once. You mix up, how you always play Parcheesi, now you're playing the game of life. It's fun that way. I would give Season 1 filler a 5 out of 10. So thank you all for watching. I hope you guys enjoy this review. Give a thumbs up and subscribe if you like. And I will see you all next time. Bye.